Welcome. I'm Steve Bronstein. I'm a blacksmith, and this is Blackthorne Forge. I've been blacksmithing for about 40 years, and I thought I'd share some of the things that I do here in my shop. Just as an introduction, I'm guessing most of you have never been to a blacksmith shop, so what do you expect to find there? And even though this is a 21st century shop, the elements are essentially the same. I have my hammer. It's the tool that I use most of the time. There's my anvil. What's an anvil? Just a big heavy piece of steel whose shape has become rather specialized over the centuries. You have the flat working face, little shoulder here where I can chisel metal, and it's just an area reserved so that I don't mind putting little chisel marks there. The horn of the anvil that has various radius on it. It's for hammering curves. I don't know if you can see it in the video, there's a little curve, square hole here. I have tools with a square shank on the bottom. Goes in there, that locks them in place, and then I can use them so they don't move. I also have a round hole here for when I punch holes, it gives a place for the punch to go through. So what does the blacksmith do? Heat up pieces of metal, hit them with a hammer. That's the theory. Heat it up, hit it with a hammer. Just remember that. That's all we're really doing. And the reason we heat it up, in my forge, this forge is 2,000 degrees. When I first started, I burned coal, and I went through about 10 tons of coal a year, and I'd call up the mine in Pennsylvania, and they'd bring a 22-ton tractor-trailer load of coal, and that got a little old. So now we burn propane. Gas line brings propane into the shop. Some air orifices here on the sides, put them together, light it with a match, becomes 2,000 degrees. So you heat up the piece of metal, because when the metal is hot, it becomes soft. And that's the whole idea, that when it's hot, it's like a piece of clay. It's exactly like a piece of clay. It's soft, it's malleable, and when you hammer it, it squishes the same way that a piece of clay would move if you squeeze it between your fingers. So, pull it out, start going to work right away. That's that saying, strike while the iron's hot. This is what they were talking about. When the metal is hottest, it's softest. And this is when you want to go to work. Okay. I'm making a point. Let's see if you can see that. What I hammered was a point with square shoulders on it. Let's see a little closer. Maybe that'll focus. Back in the fire. Now I stopped because it was cold. Cold meaning 1,000 degrees. At that point it becomes too hard to move. I don't want to work that hard. Back in the fire. Normally, I'd have multiple pieces of metal. Say I have orders to fill. I might have, say, 6 or 8 pieces going. So I grab one while the other ones are heating up, back and forth. If you start losing control of that process, that's that saying, too many irons in the fire. Because at some point they start burning. So imagine you're juggling plates and then you start to lose control. So blacksmithing has been around for so long that a lot of these quaint sayings that you might hear and you don't know where they come from, they often come from the old-time crafts. I can tell by the color, it's hot. It's time to pull it back out again. So now, the first time I put sharp corners on the piece of metal, now I'm going to take the corners off. And then I take the corners off the corners, and eventually it'll approach round. So then what I've just accomplished is put, and hopefully you can see this, it now has a round point on the end of that piece of steel. And I hope you come back and see what we do with the rest of this project.